This is so exciting. I am back again, Reverend Mark Hughes, the Executive Director of the Vermont Racial Justice Alliance, and you caught me in mud season. It's about mud season. Issues affecting black folks affect and change. Juxtaposition, a Vermont Racial Justice Alliance television program, and we're here with you today. Today's program, from fascism and autocracy. Where do we go from there? From fascism and autocracy. We've got a great program for you today. I just wanted to go back briefly, though, before we did that, I think you might remember last week, last month rather, we were talking about slave catchers. Remember slave catchers? We were talking about slave catchers. And it just occurred to me that, we should at some point or another revisit that. But I just gave it a little thought because a lot of folks are running around here saying, oh my God, ICE is out here. And ICE is, they're alive, they're active. They're down right now on Dorset Street right now. And there's a pretty significant standoff, probably the biggest one we've seen. I just have to keep going back to slave catchers. That's not the Gestapo. That's America. That's where we come from. That's where since 1850 policing in America has always chased black and brown folks. So don't get it twisted. What we're looking at is slave catchers. Check this slide out just as a reminder. The slave patrols, the origins of the modern day policing can be tracked back to the slave patrol. The earliest form of slave patrol was created in the Carolinas in the 1700s with one mission. One, to establish a system of terror, squash slave uprisings with the capacity to pursue, apprehend, and return runaway slaves to their owners. Tactics included the use of excessive force to control and produce desired slave behavior. Thank you for that, their control room. So that's the job description of ICE. I mean, the original slave catchers. But you see what I'm getting at. I just want to bring that out, because I think we just need, the more we take a closer look at what's going on here in America, and the more we tune into our history as a nation, the more we come to understand that, number one, the system ain't broke, is working perfect. And number two, is doing what it's always done. So that's what's going on here. The good news is now, since we've slipped to a place of autocracy and fascism, we've got some people who are starting to pay attention. As a matter of fact, you got folks who are organizing right now, whether it's from a mutual aid perspective and just bringing community together and making sure everybody has everything that they need, or whether it is a matter of creating a rapid response capability to the extent that when police show up, everybody shows up and it ain't nothing happening in the dark. That's what we should have been doing all the time, even before this. So I hope, and we'll talk more about this, I hope what we come to is an understanding that whenever you create a system that is exclusionary or harmful to any group or category of people, at the end of the day, it ends up hurting everybody. So that's what we're dealing with today. And I'm so glad that we got some folks who are waking up. And I hope that we have half the enthusiasm and vigor involved when police start coming back after black people like they've been for the last 400 years. So here we go. I am so glad to be here. I'm here to introduce you to my special guest. I have with me here Ava. Ava Sophia is with me. Welcome. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's so good to be here. Yeah,
I'm so glad you're here. And I want to just talk to you a little bit today. I'm looking for my notes right now, so I'm not gonna start without them. But yeah, I just wanted to introduce you because I know you've been here for a little bit now, and we've gotten an opportunity to get to know each other really well. And I'm doing my best to highlight as many people as I can on this program, and hopefully we can get some better understanding on some of the work that you're doing, and also you can bring us up to speed on what's going on in your life. So, Ava Sophia, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to Juxtaposition. So yeah, I was wondering if you would mind if I just took a minute and go over this bio, because I like this bio. It says, and I don't blush too much, but it says Ava Sophia is a vocalist, and a multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, educator, community organizer, originally from the Austin Brighton. Nobody says Austin without saying Brighton. Austin Brighton neighborhood of Boston. Ava is dedicated to the growth of art spaces in New England and beyond as opportunities for community building and economic empowerment. Ava is a graduate of the world-renowned Berklee College of Music, and she's continuing to share her music locally and in around New England. In October of 2019, you released your debut EP, To See and Hear Herself. Wait a minute, help me with that. That's HXS. Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
It was about gender inclusivity at the time.
Thank you for that. A project dedicated to exploring the relationship between femininity and vulnerability and empowering women and femmes of color to feel and express our emotions to the fullest extent. In 2023, you released your second project, You Are Where You Belong. This is a project that was funded by the City of Boston and included a stipend for 3 youth musicians to contribute as interns to writing the production of the album. You performed at stages all over Boston and curated numerous event spaces as well. Ava considers education and community work to be the center of her art practice. She has built and supported high-quality music programming with arts nonprofit spaces across Boston, solidifying her as a leader within the creative youth development sector. She has served at organizations including, I'm not going to get this right, Sociedad Latina.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to them.
Shout out Sociedad. The Boys and Girls Club of Boston, Zoomix, in her current role as Executive Director of Art Spark of Boston. You continue to strive for students and foster their most authentic selves through music and education. Ava's skills intersect at the heart of her mission to use music as a tool to elevate underrepresented voices, and in doing so, create a more equitable world. I am so proud to have you on the program tonight. Thank you for coming, and I just want to dig into some of this because there's so much to unpack here. I'm going to have you for the duration of the program. But yeah, from the Boston area, I used to live in Boston, right?
Of course, yeah.
So from the Boston area, so I'm down with that. Tell me a little bit more about Art Spark and also, your journey and what brought you to Vermont.
Yeah, so I'll start with Art Spark.
Awesome.
So after a long time being an active musician in the greater Boston area, and also, like was said in my bio, I also have been part of the kind of arts enrichment nonprofit sector for many years. It was always a dream of mine to have my own initiative or organization or something. I knew I wanted to build something. And I thought about where my skills could fill the gaps or the needs of the arts and culture sector in Boston and what I could do to fill those gaps. And I thought about the fact that there's so many great youth organizations, there's so many talented artists, there's just a wealth of people and talent, but there just is not enough, number one, physical space. I saw so many venues close through the 2020 pandemic, and and just watching that was so awful. And not only physical space, but infrastructure for what I'm part of the music industry, so I was really speaking to that. Like there's not enough people supporting the industry outside of what the artists are doing themselves. And I remember, and still to this day, I still face that same pressure of, if you're an artist, you kind of have to create your own opportunities because nobody's gonna just up and come and offer to manage you. Or
right. It's hard out there for our artists.
It's hard, and I just want to make it easier for people. So that's where the idea of Art Spark came from. I also, since I have this youth background, I thought about youth artists and what is really needed. And once again, in Boston, there's so many great programs that support youth arts and music education. But the problem is that when youth graduate out of those programs, a lot of the time they have nowhere to go.
Right.
I remember, I tell this story all the time. I graduated from Berkeley's outreach program. I went through their program in high school. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. It's the reason why I was able to go to Berkeley. And I remember through that program, there was an opportunity to apply for a scholarship, a full tuition scholarship to attend Berkeley. And everyone, all of my friends, everyone I knew was applying for this scholarship, myself included. And I was lucky to receive the scholarship. I was lucky, I know I worked hard, but I also had a lot of privilege that allowed me to know how to apply. Right. Both my parents are college graduates, so I had that, and a lot of people I was surrounded by didn't have that. So I remember folks who had a much harder time than me with the application process, and then the 50% of the applicants that year did not receive the scholarship, and though so many of those who did not, for some of them, Berkeley was the only school they were applying to, so it just derailed their college plans in general. It definitely derailed a lot of folks' plans to pursue music professionally. So I remember at that time, I was 17, 18, I remember feeling and seeing that gap. Right. So I really wanted to, back to now, I really wanted to find a solution to that. So I designed ArtSpark as an organization that serves both youth artists and adult artists. So there really never is a point at which you graduate out. You can always access ArtSpark's resources no matter where you're at.
Absolutely. It sounds like an ecosystem, if you will, because it feels like a place where you're helping cultivate some of the talents and skills that these youth and adults have, as well as identifying opportunities for them to engage with community, and even to the extent where you're helping them book. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Wow, tell me more about that.
So we work with a roster of about 30 artists right now, and we basically facilitate these artists are wonderful. They're all BIPOC artists, and they span across artistic disciplines, across genres, across mediums, and we facilitate opportunities for them to showcase and perform their work across Boston. So in the past 2 years, we've partnered with the Museum of Fine Arts, with Northeastern University, with MIT. Wow. I think universities have been some of our, some of the clients who have come to us the fastest.
It's a big, I mean, Boston, it's a big college town. I mean,
yeah.
You got Emerson.
Exactly.
You got Harvard.
Berkeley.
You got Berkeley.
All these places.
Yeah, there's a lot. When I was living in Boston, it's like you couldn't walk 5 steps without running into a college kid.
It's true. And really what we're trying to do is be the...
Not that was a bad thing. I'm just saying, these college kids going to attack me. They're going to be, Mark don't even like us.
Well, I mean, even going through Berkeley and being from Boston, I remember experiencing and just feeling the kind of the juxtaposition, I guess I could say.
Come on. Okay.
Between the local scene, the college scene, how they're separated, how they're integrated. And with ArtSpark, we're really trying to be a facilitator between the university resources and community artists.
Control room, pull that contact information up for me, please. I'm telling you, I am so curious about what brought you here, and also how you're faring here as well. Again, if you could just bring that slide up, control room, I want to give folks an opportunity to contact Ava as well. So we're just gonna put that on the screen for a minute while Ava continues. But tell us how you got to Boston. I'm sorry, to Burlington, and also what are you doing now?
Yeah. So I came here because my partner is studying at UVM.
Oh.
He's in a PhD program right now.
Nice.
And I came here to support him. Okay. So it was a personal decision. But at the time that I was kind of making the decision, I also thought it's a great opportunity. I'm born and raised in Boston. I've only really lived there. So I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to expand and get to know a new place and just expand my work through different parts of New England.
Absolutely, absolutely. And since you've been here, what's popping? I mean, what's going on, and how are you finding it here? How do you like it, and what are you doing to build and cultivate, just to build this thing out?
Yeah, since I've been here, I've been an active performing artist. So I'm performing throughout Vermont, Greater Burlington, and other parts of Vermont as well. I'm teaching music, so I teach private lessons.
I know, right?
Mark is one of my students.
This is my voice teacher right here.
Mark is a great student. But so yeah, I'm teaching private lessons. I'm looking to get more into different types of teaching artist work. Like I'd love to work with the public school system and the local nonprofits that serve youth and get involved with spaces like that. So that's really the work that I'm doing and looking to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So when we're talking about the the next steps that you're taking, I'm just excited. I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that because there's opportunity here, and I'm curious to see like what things are going to look like for ArtSpark in the coming years as you develop a clientele that's here in this area as well.
Yeah.
And become and expand. You know what I mean?
I gotta say that's something that I have struggled with quite a bit because even the concept of ArtSpark, I was only able to develop because I know the fabric of Boston so well, and I'm still getting to know Vermont as a state. I'm getting to know the artists here. My work is focused around supporting BIPOC artists, so I'm like, where even are BIPOC artists here? So I still feel very new, and I still feel like I have a lot to learn before I can go out and just serve with confidence.
Gotcha. Yeah, I appreciate that candor. The transparency is so important, and I think that's part of the reason why we're here today too. Is because we're live right now, and also this is going to be rebroadcasted, and we're going to have you back. And I know
to be back.
you've been, you've visited us. You've become part of the Richard Kemp Center family. You are very, very well known there. Folks are, as a matter of fact, folks are begging for you this upcoming Saturday. This upcoming Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they want you to come back.
Oh my God.
So we're so glad. We are so happy that you and Akshay are here, and you guys are family. So you guys are so welcome.
Thank you.
And for those who are watching, just make sure you get that contact information. And reach out because what we want to do is we want to be family. We want to welcome those folks who are coming in, especially somebody as awesome and amazing and graceful and talented as my friend Ava here. I'm so glad you joined us today. I'm going to come back and close out with you, but I just got some business to take care of, and we'll be right back with you. Okay. So yeah, welcoming Ava. We're so glad she's here. Listen, this whole thing about, what we were talking about with, as I opened the show with, from fascism to autocracy, I was trying to make a point there, and I want to make that point very well, is we're here, whether folks want to call this fascism or not, and want to call this autocracy or not, but I wanted to tell you a little bit of a story before we went to a close. Where fascism came from, what we know about fascist America is if there was a state that you had to choose that was at the heart of fascism in the history of this nation, it would be Mississippi. Okay, it would be Mississippi. And of all of the states that were lynching people across this country, yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm going to talk about our real history. There is no other state that lynched more folks in the United States than the state of Mississippi, and there is no county in the state of Mississippi that lynched more people than the county that my mother was born in, LaFleur County. And it was from that county that my family, my mother and her 11 siblings, or at the time 5 siblings, but what would become a larger family, migrated to Waterloo, Iowa. So I'm a first-generation Yankee. And not like the textbooks tell us, they didn't leave Mississippi because they just were excited about broader horizons, or they were just happy and they just skipped down the road singing Zippity Doo-Dah because it was a great opportunity. They ran out of there because they wanted to live. That's why they ran out of there, because they wanted to live. Because at that time it was very, very dangerous for black folks living in that fascist county, in that fascist state, in this fascist nation that was called the United States, that is called the United States of America. So, and you got to understand, she came up right around the World War II, at the close of World War II. And no, we still were not a democracy. We like to tell ourselves we were a democracy, but this nation wasn't a democracy until 1965, when folks really actually began to get the opportunity to vote. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. And so sometimes what we have to do is we have to go back and we've got to look at our history so we can talk about what's going on in our present. Sometimes we have to go back and take a look at what's going on, what happened to set us up to take us to where we are today. What we know, take a look at this slide. What we know is that today the federal civil rights infrastructure is collapsed in this nation. It is collapsed. And despite, us jumping up and down and hollering about it before the legislature came back in session, and fighting tooth and nail to try to get a policy in front of the legislature that would seek to enhance civil rights in the state of Vermont and offset where the federal government has abdicated its responsibilities. We've been unsuccessful in getting a what we call S301, which is in Senate Judiciary, still on the wall, to get them to budge to take that policy up, to figure out a new way to fund and support civil rights in the state of Vermont. What we know is that the Department of Labor Civil Rights Division, done. EPA, shuttered. Education Department, deleted. Housing Urban Development, withdrawn. The VA, Civil Rights Division, dismantled. The DOJ, the crown jewel, the Civil Rights Division of the Crown Jewel has been deconstructed and weaponized, and even the Social Security Administration Civil Rights Division has been dismantled. This is the state of the state. This is where we are today. So this is very much a 5-alarm fire. So we don't want folks to underestimate where we are. But this is not the first time this has happened. So the folks who walk around here saying, "Oh, we ain't never seen this happen before. My God, how could this be?" Well, you need to read history. You need to be careful about what you say, because this has absolutely happened before. The first Reconstruction, we understand when 620,000 people killed one another because we couldn't decide whether we wanted to be a nation without slavery. After that, it was the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments that put us back on course. But that Reconstruction period, although we saw formerly enslaved people acquire more political and economic power than they had ever had in the United States history to this day, we saw that fall in a matter of about 10 years. And we would divulge into slavery, convict leasing. It would be convict leasing. It would be the Jim Crow South. It would be lynching. It would be the Ku Klux Klan. So it would take us all the way until 1964 to get back to where we wanted to be with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965. This is who we are as a nation. So don't say that fascism and autocracy are new. We've done this before. We've seen the first Reconstruction. We've experienced the second Reconstruction, because under the even after the civil rights policies that I aforementioned, they were passed. What we know is democracy was killed. At that time, they killed not just civil rights leaders, but presidents. They not just Lincoln, but Kennedy. So what we understand is that the civil rights movement was really choked in its cradle. So I want to make it clear, because what's going on right now, we are in the middle of fascism and autocracy. However, the good news is people are working. People are working, and there's a lot of stuff going on. We talked about our brothers and sisters who are over there at the movement right now, working to isolate working to isolate these folks who are from the Homeland Security. There's a lot of work going on in the legislature. There's a lot of work going on across the country. As a matter of fact, the last time Trump was president, we got more policy done than you ever want to shake a stick at, and we got a lot of stuff done in our communities as well. And that's what's going on right now, because we know we've got to fight for democracy. Check this out. Stand up, speak out, equal protection. I just wanted to let you know today, the Senate here in the state of Vermont passed an equal rights protection constitutional amendment. That was ours. The Equal Rights Constitutional Amendment was passed today. I want you to keep an eye on that. That's over in the legislature. So we want to go back to Ava. Just want to let you know that we are so grateful that you came. We were running out of time, but thank you for showing up. You are amazing. Folks who are watching, make sure you take a look, grab her contact information. We're going to put it up one more time. Ava Sophia, this is my girl. Come on down, check us out. We're glad you came. Black folks, issues affecting black folks affecting change. Juxtaposition. Good night.